All right, so let's get to Antique Up. We're gonna unload the first display piece, come back, load up the second display part of the display piece, and we're gonna start working on the booth. And I'm gonna show you how we're gonna start setting up that display, and I'm gonna show you my vision for the booth and what I all have in store. Unfortunately, today is super cold, wet, and it's only supposed to get worse here in Wisconsin. So coming off a week of beautiful weather in the 60s, and unfortunately during the week I was pretty sick. I had no motivation. I have been fighting a cold, and of course the day that I actually start feeling better is the coldest and dreariest day of the week. So tomorrow's not supposed to be any better, but I wanted to get a video out for you guys to show you what I'm doing at Antique Up, and I was anticipating doing most of my videotaping on Wednesday, but I was actually laid up on the couch resting and trying to recover from this cold. So let's go ahead. We are going to get it all done today. So I want to first show you the piece that we're going to be putting in the booth. Now, the display that I'm setting up is for my paint display, and initially I bought this really pretty buffet that I found at the Habitat Restore, and then I realized pretty quick that I wanted to sell that for my flip. But then my in-laws gave me this dresser. They were going to burn it. It had 4 drawers, so 2 there, 2 on the other side, and then there was a door in the center. So what I did is I removed all of that and I created little cubbies. And then on top is where we are going to put the other piece that I'm going to show you next. So here is the cabinet. My neighbor had this in the garbage, and I grabbed it a while ago. There is one more shelf that goes in there in that big space. I pulled off the back and I painted it white, and then I gave the entire piece a good painting of apothecary. So I just wanted to give you a peek of the weather here in Wisconsin. So it is a wintry mix right now. It was actually snow and some rain. Later on, we are supposed to get some, like around 2 to 4 inches of snow, the weatherman said. So here we're pulling up to Antique Up, and this used to be, the building on the left there was the old Shopco building, and the building that Antique Up is located in is actually the old Pick and Save building. They took half of it and they created this Storage Unlimited, where they have inside storage units, and then the other half of the entire building is Antique Up. So thank goodness the assistant store manager was able to help me with this. We basically took the big cart and navigated it underneath my truck, and then each of us grabbed an end and were able to get it out of the vehicle. I was doing this solo, and it was just nice. It's nice to have people at the locations to help you out in case you need it, especially with the big pieces. And this one was a bit heavy. So here is a peek of what the booth looks like now. I just wanted to give you guys all a visual of what it actually looks like and show you what I'm going to do. So where that green shelf is in the center, we are going to eventually take that out of there completely. And right here is where we are going to make the paint display underneath that. And then over on one side, I have some new furniture pieces. I don't know if it's going to be on the right side or the left side yet, but we're going to take some furniture pieces and we are going to do all blues on one side, and then on the other, I think I just haven't yet decided, but I have some additional furniture pieces as well. So to start, we are going to rearrange a few things in the booth to make room for the new display. We are going to take that green piece that I talked about in the center that I eventually am going to be removing. Unfortunately, I can't do that by myself today, so we are pushing it against the mantle temporarily until we can finish the booth. Now, I did go and get assistance to help with taking this piece off the cart. So she was also so kind to not only help me unload the piece, but then also help me take the piece and put it in place in the booth. It just is unfortunately hard to, like I said, maneuver big pieces like this by yourself. So it was very nice that she was so gracious and assisted me with this. Already putting the piece in the spot, I absolutely love it. We made sure it was centered between those two posts. And then I had to, after I got that done, I went back and picked up the next piece. So I ran back home, grabbed the shelf, grabbed all the paints and all the other supplies to put up the additional shelves that I'm going to be putting on the French doors alongside of the booth. This is going to look somewhat similar to what I have at the Yield Goat. I wish that I would have had, like I said, a bit larger shelving on top of the dresser piece, but you have to make do with what you have. One thing I did find is that as I was doing this, there were a lot of talkative people today, including myself. It took me a lot longer to get this little area accomplished or finished. It's actually not finished, but it took me a lot longer to do this than what I had thought it would. I started at 11 and I was done at 4, and that was back and forth to my house twice, and then going and putting up the shelves. So it was definitely a process, but it was nice chit-chatting with customers. Other vendors swung by and talked. But the shelves, really did go up like a breeze. I've been, like I did the exact same thing over at my booth at Yield Goat. So that went really well. I wanted to make everything color coordinated here. So I wanted to have all the apothecary color. And I really think it turned out great. And I plan on also hanging at my booth at the Goat. I do have paintbrushes hanging from the ladder, and I'm going to do something very similar here as well. So at the Goat, I used Old 57 as like all the colors for the whole display. Here we're doing the apothecary and the white. So here is the finished finished booth so far. I basically have it all laid out. I want to still hang those paintbrushes, make a sign that says DIY paint over the display, also put the paint pricing. I just rearranged things a little bit more in the booth just so that, and I dusted. Everything seems like it gets very dusty in this building. I don't know if it's because they had done a lot of construction to build, like when they set this whole building up, they did a lot of construction, but right from the start, I've noticed that there's always a lot of dust. I have to dust everything. But a couple things I want to do to my booth yet is some behind here. I obviously want to get rid of that green piece. I'm going to have my husband help me with that. And I kind of want to have it flow like where they have to walk into my booth and through. So behind the actual display piece for the paints, I want to come up with something there. So I have to figure that out yet. I like how the mantle is on the wall with that big barn quilt. We're going to change up the barn quilt though, because that barn quilt has been here for a while. I think I'm going to do something a little different to it, possibly to maybe make it sell. I'm going to bring that buffet that I talked to you guys about. We're going to have that on one side. I'm going to do all like bright springy colors. And then on the other side, I have 2 more dressers that I'm going to paint like more of like the navy colors and do a whole display with those types of colors. So this is the booth, like I said, so far, and I'm very excited to get things finished. So what do you guys all think? Do you think I accomplished a lot? I think I did. Running back and forth to my house, okay, so I did talk. I'm a talker, and I think I did spend quite a bit of time talking to customers and fellow vendors as well, but I did accomplish a lot. I got a majority of the display all set up, so I feel very good about that. You probably are wondering why this video is coming out so late. Well, unfortunately, I lost my house key. I don't know how I did it. There was this little ring. We got a new door. We got actually a new lock on our door, and the little ring that it comes on was kind of funky. And I got home and there's no key. And my husband's up north, and my daughter, she has her key in the house. So long story short, I had to call a locksmith. I literally started crying. I normally don't, but I was under so much stress. I'm like, I have to edit this video. I have to get it out. And so it is what it is. So now I will see you guys Monday. I'm not sure what I'm going to do Monday. I have a lot going on. So probably another thrift flip or something like that. I just have a ton of stuff to get ready for all the booths. And now I just was thinking like Antique Acres is coming up, so I better start doing that, prepping for that. So we'll see. But you guys have yourself a great weekend, and we will see you Monday. Bye.